Hello there. My name is Einav Avni, and I'm the host of the podcast you're about to listen to. This podcast, Breaks Through the Limits, channeling Archangel Orel through Amir Cooper, has been recorded live in a studio. And in the studio with me are Amir Cooper and his wife Orit. This podcast is all about the words of Archangel Orel, bringing us hints and tips on how to have a better life all around. I hope you enjoy this podcast. Thank you for watching. Amir and Norit, so lovely to have you. Thank you for joining me. So let's start with you telling us a little bit about you and what you do, and also what we are doing here today with Archangel Orel.
So we're going to start. We're going to talk about relationship, and sometimes it looks like oh, relationship. The last thing I want to deal with is relationship. It's coming out from all the holes in my body. But relationship are very important in our life, and if they're made in a good way, it can really give us a good life. So, Rel is going to emphasize a few points that can help people to have a better life or a bad life. Depends how you look at that. But this is connected more to maybe my sense of humor. So, um, we'll talk about the phenomena of many people having different jobs, like a husband and a wife, they have different jobs. And usually, the husband or the wife, they go both of them from the house in the morning, only one of them, and they don't see each other for most of the day or all the day, and maybe they see each other at the evening. At least this is what I'm going to talk today.
Mhm.
So the thing with this is that what we're all saying is there's a huge trap around this kind of background because what's happened is that kind of the minute the husband or the wife, it doesn't matter, they go away from the house and they don't see for a full day the partner, their awareness is somewhere else. They go to their work and there they meet women or men, it doesn't matter. And it is a kind of a disconnection from their home. And many times this could be a crack in the relationship that can lead that they will come closer in relationship to someone in their work and they will go away or will, let's say will go further away from the relationship with the partner that is in the house. Now this sounds like what are you talking about? Grown up people don't behave like this. But I'm saying this is exactly what's happening in many times. Like where when we have our relationship, there's a lot of small things around the day that can bring tension. So when we have someone in work that really we don't live with, things could look much easier with them comparing to how are the relationship with our regular partners. And this is a very big trap. And I know myself numerous examples of people that lost their relationship to someone in their work. And it's heartbreaking how it can destroy their family, can destroy many things. So, what Orel wants to talk today is how to prevent it or how to reduce the chance that something like this will happen. But what he wants us to check if we have any question about what he said until now.
I think
Do yes, yeah,
sorry. Just to maybe clarify or say it in a different way. We're talking about this other person that we find in the workplace. There's a way to call it work wife or work husband, and this is someone in the workplace that we feel very connected with, and we feel like we can share everything. And a lot of the time, what you're saying is actually maybe instead of sharing it with at the workplace, we need to find a way to bring it back to our real spouse, to keep our relationship going in a different way or in a better way, maybe.
Yes. Now, what we're all saying about that is that many times we don't feel the difference, or we don't understand the difference, that when we're creating a very intimate relationship with what you called work husband or work wife, um, it's starting to have a relationship that ignore the regular relationship that you left at home, and it's starting to be or something like almost a secret code that you will say things to your work husband or your work wife that you would not say to your regular husband or wife at your home. It's kind of a separation. And this is a place where it's very tricky, Earl saying, because when we are working with someone at work, the way the relationship are evolving in many cases are without all the pressure of the regular life, that without the pressure of the children, that without the pressure of cleaning the house or other chores that we need to take care of. So from the beginning, if someone will not pay attention very carefully, the relationship of what they have with their work husband or the work wife are more shiny, are more easy, are more happy. And we forget that this is not the real relationship. This relationship are artificial, and they are happening only because there is another main relationship in the background that feeds us all the time. But we kind of forget this. And when we are starting something with a work husband, work wife, then things are starting to get messy, and very big chance that your relationship with your partner, your real partner, could collapse or damaged dramatically. Now, we're all saying that one of the things that our era brings is a feeling that everything is good. Like, well, I stopped the relationship with this wife or I stopped with this husband, whatever. Plenty of fish in the market. I just need to move the mouth from one place to another. There is a 10 in a row of options of partners. And we're all saying this is a very, very dangerous illusion, because he's saying nowadays to create a connection with someone, it's much harder, it's much more complicated than maybe 10, 20 years ago, because people are much more closed. People are not very friendly nowadays. The fact that someone is maybe answering you on the internet, you really don't know how they are, who they are, who they are to live with. So, um, also, we're all saying to switch a partner. Let's say we're all saying there's not even kids, okay? To switch a partner, we're all saying this is a very huge effort. And maybe we don't pay attention to this. But to know the other person, to see that they are not cheaters, that they are people that support us, that we can trust them. We're all saying this is a lot of energy to find people like this. So the illusion is that just that with a click of a button, you could just move to another person. But actually, we're all saying it is not true. It takes a long time to trust someone else. In other words, we're all saying we need to think twice or more than twice before we're saying, well, we don't like this relationship, let's move to another. Because many people are all saying, what's happened? They'll move from another relationship to another relationship and then another relationship. And then they feel that they don't have the energy to have a relationship with someone. It's too exhausting for them. Because true, we're all saying this takes a lot of energy to know someone. To learn to trust someone, we're all saying it's a lot of energy. You could be in a lot of tension inside yourself, we're all saying, to know, well, will this person will be representative in front of my friends when he meets my parents, maybe? How it could be to make children with a person like this? How it would be? Will I would be a victim? Will this person will give me a back? I can trust this person or not? So what we're all saying, it's better in many cases to try to improve and to keep an existing relationship than just to toast the relationship that you have and look for another relationship. He's not talking in this case on cases where there is abuse, when one partner is abusing the other partner or abusing the children of one partner or something. Like, he's not talking about cases like this where there is much more complicated.
Mm.
So well, I'll give an example from a different territory, but he doesn't know if it's a good example from all sides. There's a saying, Earl saying that it's much easier to get um, existing client to get maybe another program with you than to get a new client, because the existing client in many cases knows you. You have some relationship, so you finish one program, it's easier to enroll them to another program, or at least to show them the interest of that, about that. So we're all saying try to keep the partners that you have unless it's an abusing relationship. This is we're all saying a completely different chapter, because there could be abusing relationship when the partners, or at least one of them, would not pay attention that this is actually an abusing relationship. But Rel will not go there, not today at least. So just a minute, I will drink water.
So maybe I can ask a few questions.
Yes, sure.
Yeah. So I definitely understand what you're saying, or what Aurel is saying, that when we go into the workplace and everything is so easier because there is a whole background of information and situations that the workplace husband or wife, we don't bring it to that place, so we keep something to at home, and then at work we are just only showing partially to whatever our needs and the information, the situation that is going on. But I want to know, I think one thing that comes up in a lot of my own clients is really, how do you bridge back, to the partner that you have at home, or that is not with you at the workplace? How do we create this situation where you feel that you can speak with them in the same way that maybe you speak with your work colleagues or husband or wives, to because there's so much, a lot of the time, right? There's a lot of emotions, there's a lot of frustrations, a lot of disappointments that we have with our partner at home, that's causing us to find someone else to speak with outside of the house. How can we change that, so that we say that we put that we make it clearer for ourselves that actually that our energy and attention should really be back home and not necessarily with this work person.
It's okay if I will answer.
No, I will let you answer.
Yeah. Okay. So we're all saying it is complicated, and this will not happen by itself. So if someone is not aware, for example, to the point that you're talking about, there's many chances that everything would go wrong and you could lose your relationship with your home partner, or at least it can be damaged seriously. So we're saying first to pay attention that um, it's much easier to um, disconnect from your partner, life partner, and go to work and create wonderful relationship with maybe your office partner. It's very easy. There is no obligations like you have with the person that you live with. There is no so much tension. There's many things in life, we're all saying, sorry, that brings tension. So when you're talking with your life partner, things are not like a blank board. There's a lot of, I would say, residue. There's a lot of issues there. And sometimes it looks like with all the different thoughts that you have about your partner, he didn't do this, she didn't do this, he didn't this, whatever, it can lead to a very relationship where there's huge amount of tension in the background, up to the point that people could come from work and not even talk with their life partner. Just each one, for example, would go to their computer and will just, be in the internet. They're maybe at the same house, but they're not together. They're not acting as partners. So we're all saying the first stage, from his point of view, to take care of this thing is first to understand the mechanism, to understand that if we are not paying attention, the relationship that we can create or that will be created with a partner in work could be very easily show the regular relationship that we have in a dim light, not in a good way. So one of his answer about that is that we have to go to work, but not take our life partner from our head. Like, not to disconnect, not to say, oh God, like you close the door behind you, we're all saying, and then you say, well, next time I see these problems that are problems here, paying electricity, make my wife or my husband happy or whatever, I need to take care of it only at around 5. So now I have vacation until this time. Now, we're also saying maybe it's a bit bold or a bit extreme the way Orel is saying it, but he's saying it many times it is like this, but maybe not in these words. It's like, whew, they close the door and say, okay, now we're going to a different reality that we don't need to worry about the house, about the wife or the husband or the children or whatever. And we're all saying this thing that many people do, this kind of click, is energetic click. And in a way that the partner that stay at home or the partner that is going to another work can feel that there is a disconnection, that there is, okay, now I can forget from him or from her for the rest of the day. I'm on my own. And we're all saying this is a very, very serious and dangerous trap. And one of his recommendation is to continue the connection with the partner, the life partner, even after they left the house and they go to their workplace. And this can be done in a few ways. It can be done by, for example, phone them, have an agreement that it's okay. Okay, phone them twice or something in breaks or something, not to break the rules of the workplace. Okay, talk to them, check how they feel, and to sing them a small song. Tell them, I love you, I thought about you, and say what you thought about them, maybe. Unless if there's a real saying surveillance in the workplace, maybe you don't want to say too much of an intimate things. But still, you can say to your partner, I love you, I want to see you, I dreamed that we will go to this and this, and we'll have some fun or something. So, what we're all saying is that if the partner um, that's at home, for example, keep connection with the person at work, then the thoughts of the person in work are not drifting completely of being with the work wife or husband. They're still in connection. And this is a place where I was saying that many people maybe would not like. But if you think about it, this will or could preserve your marriage. That you are in connection with them somehow. You could also be in psychic connection with them, but this is what I was saying a different chapter. Most people don't deal with telepathy or something like this. We're talking about more regular people. So this is one of the main advices of Orel. Call your partner, say that you love them, say something nice, and keep the connection with them and check if they need something. Maybe they have a dream that you will eat out after the work of both of you or something to check what's going on there so um, there would be a creation of something new or something original. Maybe you can play a game together, not we're all saying kind of game that are like sarcastic game or something, like really a game, even a ball game in a park. We're not too old ever to do something like this, we're all saying. So I don't know if it's understood what we're all
Yeah.
said. Yes.
Yes, and if I want to add to that, I think it's a. I mean, who am I to say how wise it is? But I really do feel that this is so wise because a lot of the time, people that go to walk, even if both partners are walking, you have your walk environment and you have your walk energy, and so one of the complaints that people might have is that the person at home or the partner doesn't understand them, or that they don't have things in common, because when you get to your workplace, you're all engaged and consumed by the workplace. But what Aurel is saying is actually it doesn't have to contradict each other. You can have, a certain conversations with your work person, and that is all about work. But in the background, in the back of your mind, you still have your home person, that you have a different kind of relationship. So find the way to connect. Find the way that the things that you have in common, um, just bring it into your conscious awareness that that is not all or nothing. It's not black and white. There's always all these other things that you can do to make things better. And I like it because it's a little attention that basically helps bridge the problems that you might have with your home person. So yes, it might not be perfect. Maybe there are tensions, financial situations that, of course, can cause a lot of problems for people. But when you have this commitment to check in with each other and not cancel each other out or say, I'll only see you at home when I get back, you actually encourage this continuous connections throughout the day. And I think for anyone who is listening and is having this kind of situation, that is a wonderful reminder to say, actually, I can do things slightly differently. I don't have to change it all overnight, but even if I do 5% better than what I've done before, my relationship with the person at home is already going to improve, and that's something that we can then build on. So I really, really, really like these conversations and everything that Orel is saying so far.
There is maybe another one or two tips that Orel is always mentioning. He is mentioning and emphasizing that the couple, if they want to maintain the relationships, should or good, it will be good if they will find common things to do, as you said. So they will have or hobbies or things that they are doing together. They can even cook together, clean together, or find anything else to do together. So there is some threads that are connecting and they don't lose these threads. And another thing is to keep transparency and to share. And when you come home, you share what happened at work. So the partner understands what's going on, who are the characters, who is the boss, who are the colleagues, and what's going on about the interactions, and can even give advice if a conflict is arising or anything else. So the partner will live in a way the life that you have at your work and understand what's going on with you and can respond and be a part of your life and not two disconnected parts, as we are saying. So the sharing and finding things to do together are also important components of maintaining the relationships.
Yeah, yeah. And I want to add to that is that a lot of the time when when there is already strained relationship at home, we might want to just, you know, keep to ourselves and have this what Orel was describing earlier, this resentment or disconnect between the couples. But if I think when we say, I'm not going to leave the relationship, if I have commitments, if there are kids, if I know that there is still love and appreciation in the background, then I can start saying, okay, I have to take a step forward and find another solution. So not borrowing myself deeper and deeper into the ground and into the separation, but say, let's just try something. Because even if you come to the table with a lot of resentment and frustrations and, you know, all of these feelings that you might have about your relationship and the partner, when you recognize that this is not working out, you don't necessarily have to go and say, right, we have to separate, but what are some small steps that I can already do to improve? And that is a whole different mindset, that you're actively trying to do something differently. And then everything that we said here already is a really wonderful reminder that yes, you can always find something to tweak and to move forward, even in small steps, that will make a really big difference in the long run.
Yes.
The thing we're all saying, it's not always so easy, um, because many people, when they go to work, they have a set of mind of my work is my business. Like, not necessarily business, but it's my territory.
Hmm.
And they don't let their partner go in or know what's going on. This, or else saying many times, it's a matter of control. They kind of they have different thoughts in their head, like in the house, you're the boss, you're telling me what to do, or I'm whatever, but keep me this relationship in my workplace for myself. Like many times they don't even think about it clearly, but they act aggressively when their life partner is talking with them about the work. It's like, you stay out of it. It's my job, it's my decision, it's so on and so on. So, which is brings Orel saying another topic. I don't know if we'll widen it now, but how to listen, like the person, how to listen to each other when you share what's going on in work, what's going on in work. And Orel saying many couples, one of them will share, and the other person will say, "Well, I told you not to do that. This was wrong. This was a mistake." And this Orel saying does not build any safe ground for the other partner to talk about and share what's going on. So we're all saying one of the important thing is to give a safe feeling, safe ground to your partner to express how it is in their work, not to criticize them, and to check exactly what need to say. And many times we're all saying you cannot just throw sentences to the air. You need to do kind of a preparation. For example, massage each other before you say something nice, or say anything, or do sex and talk about after that, or take a walk in nature, and then maybe very gently talk about it, and be careful to keep the space for your partner to be exist. Because we're all saying if you only say sentences that are in the base or criticism to what they do, how they are, and so on, you are working in a way against comfortable feeling between you and your partner, because then your partner would feel he's not okay, he's stupid, he should be different, or stuff like this. And we have to be very careful. Now, it doesn't mean we cannot say anything, but we need to prepare the background so we can say things and in a way that our partner would not feel that we're after them, that we have all the time criticism and stuff like this. And sometimes, or else you ask the partner, "Well, did you pay attention to what you said?" So the partner said, "Well, I just wanted to help. I just wanted that they will think about something else." Yes, but you don't give your partner any place to be exist, because it's only in a way what you're saying and the criticism that you bring. So we're all saying this is could easily build a small volcano between both of you, where one partner feels that the other partner don't listen to them, or don't appreciate them, or really don't understand what's going on in work. So we're all saying maybe we need to remember that somewhere in the line we're human beings. It could be mistakes, or it could be things that are connected to stress or whatever. And we need to see how we can work about that. And still work on the energy in a way that will prevent eruption. For example, we're all saying some of the examples he said before today, or you can talk while you do massage to each other, maybe, or you can work together doing art. That is a different kind of energy altogether, and to talk gently while you're doing the art. But also you have to be careful. The fact that you're doing art, it doesn't mean that you could bark. It doesn't mean or else you say, well, I thought that you're better than that. Or, you know, with your experience, all these years, I would expect you to behave differently. Rather, this kind of sentences are closing sentences. The energy could be destroyed with stuff like this. And we're all saying sometimes we're so much used to um, our partners that we don't really think about their feelings when we're talking with them. Or else saying, we think, and Earl's going to say something that sounds ridiculous, but he doesn't think it's ridiculous. We're all saying, if you think about it, many people are all saying are trained on the internet to change relationship every second. And he will give an example. If you are on a certain website and you don't like the website, what do? We're all saying. You click, you move to another website, you move to another thing in a matter of a second, sometimes less than a second. And like if you see or else saying something that you don't like, 1 minute, if you see or else saying something that you don't like on the internet, you just click and you move over. And we're also saying sometimes people feel that they can talk like this and move like this and behave like this in real life. So they will be in front of the computer and they will talk with the partner on a very bothering subject, and they will move the subject like almost it's a click of a button. They will not look at their partner expressions or anything. They will not feel their partner, and it's almost become will come to them the same thing. Like, I don't want to talk about it. Or you did click and you move to another thing. It's easier maybe at the point you do it, or else saying, but it is or could detonate a bomb in your relationship. So we're also saying it's important what we are creating between us, how we're respecting each other, how we show our partner that we respect what they say, we appreciate their thoughts, we appreciate where they are, but we're trying to see how there's different things that they can do, for example, to feel better in work, but it will not be like criticism from us that we're telling them, you should do this, long list. No, it's to work as a team to see how you could move things in your work, for example. Then they're all saying you're keeping kind of your solidarity, you're keeping your cooperation as a couple. You're not disconnected from each other. And in many cases, if you're doing it, it can really nourish your relationship and also help a lot in the workplace.
I think it's wonderful advice. It really is about recognizing that when you feel like you've moved away from your partner at home, instead of going into the frustration and resentment and thinking of leaving, as you say, you maybe pause and bring back some of these agreements and seeing your partner and actually not just glazing over them. A lot of the time people say, right, I think we mentioned it here as well today earlier, my partner doesn't understand me, and actually by that we are increasing the gap between us. And when we say that, we put all the blame on them. They don't understand us, but actually maybe this is the invitation to say, how can I take a different approach? How can I be more proactive here and explain in a different way? So I invite the connection, and not just go away and hide at work, hide with someone else. I think it's a really wonderful reminder to really pause, take a deep breath, and recognize that probably there are quite a few different things that you can do to repair and create new relationships rather than the ones that you've been having so far. Thank you. I guess we are getting towards the end of our conversation today. Any last words from either of you or from Orel?
No, it's also could be the end of me, because if Orit doesn't like what I said until now, you know, too bad for me.
You see, this is exactly the opportunity, right? To see that there is no black and white. Even if you said something that you didn't like, it's how to bring everything that we spoke about today and start building on top of that rather than creating the gap.
But you need to see the mallet that she's holding here under the table, you know?
I would say, as last words, just the awareness how the internet and overuse of technology and how we escape to watch reels or whatever, Netflix or whatever on the screen, how screen time, if it's overused and overconsumed, can damage our relationships, and how easy it is to escape to this and not be present in our relationships. So just to start to be aware of it will start the repair or something that is nicer in the relationship.
Yes, very, very, very good point. Amir and Dorit, and of course Archangel Orel, thank you so much for this engaging and wonderful conversation. I really enjoyed it, and thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.